Hey guys, Sean with Legacy Retics. Um, been meaning to make a video for a while, and this is going to be a different one. This is going to be kind of emotional for me. Stick around if you want to hear about Nidovirus and the real dangers that it can have in your collection. Over the past few months, I've lost 10 snakes. Half of my collection is gone. It started out about 4 months ago. I had a breeder retic up and die. Up and die. And at first, I thought I had done something, and then I thought, okay, well, maybe this snake was just, it was a little older. Oh, you're gonna pee all over me, aren't you? And I thought, maybe it was just something genetic. Hi, buddy. And I wrote it off, and I buried her, and I should have got a necropsy done, but I didn't. Because I didn't see any symptoms of anything prior. I didn't have a reason to think that something was going on in my collection. Over the past 2 years, I have built my collection. I have spent every spare penny that I have on my collection, on my enclosures, on pro radiant heat panels, on herpstat thermostats, everything that I could possibly do to give these snakes the absolute best life that I can as a keeper. I have two theories on how Nidovirus got in my collection, and I have no way to prove either of them. One of them could be I did rescue a few ball pythons last year from a pretty bad situation. One of them was actually left in an apartment to die. It could have come in through them, given they were in my quarantine room. But given how viral that virus is, quarantine room or not, without the proper precautions of changing your clothes and everything else, it's very easy to spread throughout, an entire 3,000 square foot home where your snakes are. And that was just the beginning, was that one snake. That was just the beginning. Maybe not even a few months, maybe a month went by. And all of a sudden I had 2 ball pythons. 2 of the rescues just dropped dead. No signs of anything. And so I started to panic, and I thought, okay, I have a respiratory infection, but I'm showing no signs at all. And over that week, I really started to look into what I need to do. I contacted a vet, spoke with him about what it could be, and we come up with a respiratory infection. Then I was just kind of told to watch it. And any snakes that seem to have a respiratory infection, I could get them some antibiotics. Some oral antibiotics. And it wasn't a week later that a baby reticulated python that was in that room, a baby from a very reputable breeder that, I know for a fact doesn't have any sick animals, she dropped dead. One day she's fine, the next day she's dead. That's when Nidovirus came to my head. This is potentially what's going on. And at that point, it was pretty bad. In total, I lost 10 snakes. I think I have it under control now. I have a few more snakes that I need to test. It is expensive to do. I just found out that there's actually a company that you can ship it, you know, they'll ship you a test and you can ship it back. I think it's like $60. It's a lot cheaper than going to the vet. And so the last few reticks that haven't been tested are going to be tested over, you know, the next week or two. All I can do at this point is pray that, you know, none of these snakes have it. I've separated them, like this Coyote stays here in the dining room. I've separated them as far apart as I can with what space I have. But I'm worried sick. It has been the hardest past couple months that I've had in a while when it comes to pets, and I never wanted to talk about this. I didn't want to talk about this. I thought about just giving up and getting these snakes healthy and selling what was left of my collection. But the other day, you know, I was tagged in a really awesome post on Facebook by an upcoming member, Spencer Vance. And it was literally, you know, 30 minutes after I told my fiance that I was thinking about, you know, potentially putting some of these animals up for sale after we got everything figured out. Literally 30 minutes later, not an hour, was I tagged in this post thanking me and with a lot of great names in the industry for helping him. And it was at that moment that, you know, it was like the world was just reaching out. Sean, you've wanted to do this your whole life since you were 5 years old. There's going to be hardships. This is going to be hard. We're talking about living animals. Anytime anything happens to a living animal, it is hard, especially if you love animals in the way that I do. These snakes right here mean just as much as my dogs to me. These are my babies. And to have to bury them prematurely because of a virus is not fair, but it happens. And I don't want it to happen to any of you guys. And so, you know, as much as I know there's animals in this world that need a good home, if you have a beautiful collection, don't rescue. Don't rescue random animals. Because you never know what you're bringing in. And if you're going to rescue them, get them tested. Spend the $60. It is a virus that will wipe out your collection overnight with no signs or symptoms of what's happening. And there's nothing you can do about it other than let the disease play its course or euthanize your animals. There's nothing. You don't want this to happen. And I don't want it to happen to anybody, because these animals are amazing. If you don't know about Nidovirus, look into it, learn about it. There's really no signs or symptoms of it. It is something that you, as a keeper, have to do your diligence. If you don't do diligence and you take in animals that you have questions about, chances are this could happen. It happens to the best of us. It happens to people that love their animals dearly. Then there's nothing you can do about it when it happens. I'm having so much trouble with their sheds because it's dry right now outside. I've been a nervous wreck, been anxious, depressed. But thanks to Spencer Vance and that beautiful status he posted, that was the motivation I needed to continue doing what I'm doing and rebuild better and just continue to love these animals in the way that I do. And I hope I never have to experience this again. You know, if it was an RI, I could have taken care of it. I have medication on hand. I have Baytril. I have doxycycline. I have medicine on hand. If it would have been a normal RI, we could have treated it. But if you know anything about retics, they don't really get an RI unless you don't keep them very well. So it wasn't an RI that I could treat, sadly. You know, if I would have been an RI that I can treat, I would have been really kicking myself in the butt for not caring for my animals right, because 9 times out of 10, if your animal gets a respiratory infection that's not Nidovirus, that's something, a bacterial-based infection, it is something that you have done. And I hate to be that way. I mean, I guess you could get it, you know, from another keeper. But this isn't something that you can fix. And you just have to pray. So guys, that's where I've been the past 6 months. That's why no one's heard from me. That's why I've just kind of disappeared from the community. It was hard. It is hard. You know, I'm still really upset about it. But thanks to the people in this community, I'm gonna continue to push forward, and you know, we're just gonna stick with retics. I'm not gonna take anything in until I have a facility built where my retics will be in a barn here on the property. At that point, you know, if we want to take in a ball python or you know, even a chameleon, like I said, I don't know. You know, my dad had a chameleon up and die, and I was actually caring for it the week prior. He was out of town. I was caring for his entire collection. No symptoms or anything. This chameleon just fell out of the tree a couple times and was passed away. And so I don't know if it came from the ball python or that chameleon. My dad hasn't had any other issues with any of his other chameleons. You know, so I've kind of distanced myself from his collection, you know, and made sure that when I come home, if I'm gonna get my animals out, it's gonna be in a change of clothes and preferably a shower. Just take care of your animals, guys. Love these animals the way they need to be loved, because you never know what's gonna happen. Do your diligence, guys. I don't want any of you to have to go through this, because it's like losing kids. It's like losing your favorite pet. There's nothing you can do. So guys, I'm sorry that it's sappy and it's not my normal happy post, and you know, it's been a while. Like I said, I've just kind of disappeared. As things get better, I'll try to get more active on here. I'm going to start being more active in the groups again, you know, on Patreon and stuff like that. And we're just going to do our best to hope and pray that, you know, the Nidovirus is gone from my collection, and you know, here in the next week or two, I should have the confirmation I need that it is in fact gone or not, and we'll proceed from there. I'm hoping everything's okay at this point. But yeah, I hope you guys have been better than I have, and I hope 2022 is going good for you so far. It's a pretty crazy world right now, so take care of yourself, take care of your families, take care of your animals, and we'll see you on the next one, guys.